Okay, so I forgot to record. Look at slide 14, slide 15. This is slide 16. The geography of Vatican City. We got into some good conversation. I forgot to press record. I'm sorry. So the entirety of the city, very small city, 0.44 kilometers square. That's it. And it's surrounded entirely by Italy. And you can get into the state, and it is a state, it's a country, 5 different ways, all of which are guarded by these fellas, the Swiss Guard, the Pontifical Swiss Guard, and also the Gendarme Corps. Gendarme is just police. So the Pope is very well protected. And don't mess with these guys. These guys are not toy soldiers. They're not ceremonial. They're trained in, the latest weaponry. They are ex-Swiss military, so they are actual soldiers. I know they stand around with the pikes sometimes for the formal occasions, but they can use certainly a lot of other weaponry.
Why did the Swiss Guard is there in Italy?
They're called the Swiss Guard because they're all from Switzerland, and they're recruited from Switzerland. It goes back to the reign of Pope Julius II in the 1600s, who wanted a bodyguard, as he felt he needed one. I have no idea what he was up to that he felt like he needed one. But he recruited from Switzerland these Swiss mercenaries, and they eventually just became known, Donald, as the Swiss Guard. These are the colors of Julius II's family on the uniform. Also, it is said, although I've never found a direct answer to this, that Michelangelo designed the uniform. Again, could be wrong. I don't know if that's a rumor or just something on the grapevine. I've never been able to definitively confirm that. So that's Castel Gandolfo, the Pope's summer retreat. So because the Vatican is very small, only a few, not a ton is located inside the see itself. Some of it's located out in the city of Rome. They enjoy immunities in the city of Rome. They're recognized by international law as part of the Vatican. They're extraterritorial zones, like embassies. If you walked into the Hungarian embassy in Chicago, I don't know if they have an embassy in Chicago, you would technically be in Hungary. You would enjoy all the privileges of a person living in Hungary, but you would also be subject to Hungarian law. So if you broke one that you didn't know, I think just the embassy would probably just kick you out. Depending on how bad it is, they might do something else.
Like, should I you all the way over to Hungary to throw you in jail?
Yeah. I did a program in 2013, the summer of 2013, called the Fund for American Studies, and this was an option, and I took it. I did go to the Hungarian embassy in Washington, D.C. I was a little surprised when the guide who was showing us around brought us into the embassy. Said, "Welcome to Hungary." And we asked, "What do you mean?" And she explained this whole concept to you as I just did now, but yeah, I'm in Hungary, I'm not in the United States anymore. Technically, no. So there is international protection of the treaty, of the territory. It's protected, the city, the Vatican City State, is placed under the protection of the Hague Convention of 14th May 1954. And the Hague Convention protects cultural assets in the event of armed conflict. the Vatican, I would argue anyway, is more of a cultural asset than anything else. That is the repository of a lot of the history of humanity. The Pope might be king. I would say, though, that the artwork, the Sistine Chapel, all the things in there belong to us all because they're a part of the shared common heritage of humankind. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I think we own those paintings and all that too, just as much as anybody else. So in 1984, it took a long time for the Vatican to be listed as a World Cultural and Natural Heritage Site. So the state is recognized, Vatican City State, in the international arena as a moral, artistic, and cultural heritage site worthy of being respected as a treasure that belongs to humanity. And it really does. There are very few places like that, but yeah, Vatican City State is certainly one of them. We have the Sistine Chapel. Look up. Yeah. There's nothing to write for this next little bit. So just enjoy the beauty that is flashing on the screen. The Chair of St. Peter. I don't think anybody actually sits in it. I think it's just an art piece, but who knows? I've never been to the Vatican.
Yeah, it kind of looks like there's like an altar in the front and it's kind of behind it, maybe decorative.
Yeah. And the Borgia apartments. These were commissioned by Pope Alexander VI when he was elected. He made these rooms for his family to live in. His three illegitimate, at that time, illegitimacy was a real big deal. Children lived with him, Lucrezia, Cesare, and Juan. And I believe, unless I'm very much mistaken, this right here, this lady is his daughter, or is meant to be a depiction of Lucrezia. But I think these things, you can't keep them to yourself, even if you're king of the castle. So the Vatican does have access to the sea. So the Vatican obviously is landlocked. I hope we all knew that. But they have the right to put ships out to sea as long as they fly the papal flag. They don't exercise that right, and they haven't exercised that right in a long, long time. I mean, long time. They have I'm going backwards, that's why. They have a population in Vatican City. There are 618 citizens of the state. Only 246 live within the walls of the Vatican, including the 104 Swiss Guard. About half, so 123 roundabouts of these citizens reside in other countries for reasons of service to the church, including diplomatic reasons. We saw in the video earlier about papal nuncios, the papal ambassadors. And who can and cannot become a citizen are governed by very specific provisions in Vatican law, Vatican City State law. Also, that they have to be in line with the Lateran Treaty. So, who do we have? one Holy Father that lives in Vatican City. 70 cardinals, 17 of which live inside the city. The inhabitants, 453, citizens and non-citizens. 70 currently valid passports that have been issued. 1 child per year. That comes from the Swiss Guard. Once you achieve the rank of sergeant in the Swiss Guard, I think you are allowed to marry. I believe you are allowed to marry and have children at that point. But Vatican City enjoys a phenomenally low birth rate. 5 people die in Vatican City per year, and there's a dog. I don't know who the dog belongs to. The Vatican website didn't say. And we are going to stop there because it's time for fake quiz number 4.